There are literally no portable consoles right now from Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. Before you say, wait, what about modern handhelds? Let me explain why those don't count. Looking at the Switch, Switch Lite, Switch 2, and even the Steamdeck, it's pretty obvious they're designed to be held in your hands. But I think the more important question that isn't being asked is, are they designed to be taken with you? And what does that even mean? Because what's also obvious is that none of these devices were designed to fit in our pockets. Even the smaller Switch Lite is bigger than old portable consoles, and the thumbsticks are sticking out, making it awkward for you to put it in your pocket and dangerous for the console. Just this year, we saw the release of the Switch 2 and Ally X. And just a few years ago, we saw the release of the PS Portal and Steamdeck OLED. And to top it all off, some rumors are saying that the PS6 might also be a handheld. So it's safe to say we have plenty of handheld consoles, but again, do these really count as portable? I don't think so. It all started when Nintendo first released the Game Boy. There were plenty of portable consoles before then, but none as mainstream, widespread, and popular as the Game Boy. The Game Boy is what made pocketable gaming a reality for most people. It could fit in your pocket, had fun games, great battery life, and was built like a brick. And from the Game Boy sprouted many other Nintendo hits. The Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP, and eventually the all-time GOAT of portable gaming, the DS, specifically the DS Lite. The form factor as a portable console was absolutely perfect. It was self-protecting, had great battery life, great games, and not to mention, it was super cheap. It was a slam dunk, a home run, a generational success in all regards. It might just be a once-in-a-lifetime product. I actually did a whole video on why the DS was the best console ever made. But let's get back to the chase here, portable gaming. Nintendo continued to develop the form factor, and soon Sony would want a piece of the action. Marketed as more of a multimedia device and honestly more similar to the modern smartphone, the PSP could do it all. Watch movies, listen to music, and most importantly, play awesome games. While not as technically successful as the DS, the PSP was an absolute success in its own right. It had many unique features the DS didn't have and could play many games the DS couldn't. But most importantly, it was portable. Hence the name, PlayStation Portable. It was sleek and could slide into your pocket without any issues. Even the thumbstick was flat, so the thumbstick wouldn't get caught on the edge of your pocket. The most important part of these consoles that I'm trying to get at though, is the fact that they were actually portable. They were designed to be portable from the ground up. If I put my DS in my pocket, I didn't have to worry about the screen getting scratched or the buttons getting mushed or thumbsticks getting caught, even though it didn't have thumbsticks. And in the PSP's case, I didn't have to worry about the thumbsticks being ripped off or broken because they were designed to be flush with the device. That way, it could slide neatly into your pocket. Both of these consoles were designed to be thrown into any pocket, bag, or case, ready to play wherever and whenever. So what happened today? What have consoles lost? I mean, they're still advertising portability, right? Well, they are, but it's not fully honest marketing. Here are the 4 things I think actually make something portable. Number 1 is battery life. In order to take a console around, it actually needs to last so you can play it. The DS Lite was king here. Me personally, I was able to get a week out of that battery. Modern handhelds, you're lucky to get 2 hours playing a heavy game. Number 2 is durability. It needs to be durable so that you can actually feel comfortable taking the console around, putting it anywhere, putting it in pockets, or putting it into bags. Like I said before, the DS and PSP were great in this regard. They were both durable, strong consoles. But modern handhelds, I'm kind of scared to take them anywhere because I feel like they could break from a little drop, or the thumbstick sticking out will get caught on something, and then I don't want to get the dreaded drift problem that the Nintendo Switch had. Number 3, flush buttons and thumbsticks. In the DS's case, they were covered by the clamshell, and on the PSP, there's actually a slight curve to the edge so that the buttons are a little bit recessed, and the thumbstick itself is flat, so it's not going to get caught on anything. And finally, number 4, a small form factor. We've seen a recent trend of devices just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But is bigger always better? In this case, I don't think so. A portable device needs to be able to fit in my pocket, and I'm sorry, the Switch and Switch 2 are so far from fitting into my pocket, they just don't really count as a small form factor. Out of these four aspects, the DS and the PSP obviously fully embrace them, and unfortunately the consoles of today don't embrace them at all. The 3DS continued in the legacy of the DS, but unfortunately isn't supported by Nintendo anymore and isn't being made anymore. It doesn't look like in the near future we're gonna get a new DS anytime soon. On Sony's end, even the successor to the PSP, the PS Vita, I find it very interesting that they got rid of the name portable. The PS Vita had protruding thumbsticks, meaning they would get caught if you put them on the edge of your pocket. For me personally, this makes it difficult to justify as a truly portable console. In every other aspect, it was great, and although not supported by Sony, it was a great console. I just don't think being portable, being able to be taken anywhere in your pocket, was a priority for Sony when they designed it. Now, as I mentioned before, I have a Steam Deck and a Switch, both of which advertise to be portable so that you can take it around and game anywhere, but they're really not. Aside from specific scenarios like lugging a big backpack around or lugging a big case around, it's kind of obstructive to take a Steam Deck around or a Switch around. No one's putting them in their pocket and walking around with them. Maybe some brave few are taking the Switch Lite around, but even then, I haven't personally seen anyone out in the wild put a Switch Lite into their pocket. On the contrary, I've seen tons of people have 3DSs in their pocket, but I've not seen anyone put modern consoles in their pocket. Microsoft has just partnered with Asus and released a gaming handheld. It's basically a portable gaming PC like the Steam Deck. Again, it looks really cool and technologically speaking is really powerful. It's not portable. And I'm not trying to slam these modern consoles. I think they're great. I own them, I play them, and in specific circumstances, they really shine. But I'm just trying to make the point that portability is not what they are prioritizing. And I'm personally pretty disappointed because us, the consumers, have been without a portable console for years. We've been told by these first-party companies that we don't need portable gaming anymore. It doesn't sell, and frankly speaking, they're scared to challenge the cell phone. But I don't think it's true anymore. I think portable consoles could sell well today. And as we'll see, third-party companies are actually starting to pick up the slack. Now, if you've really been looking for it, you will find portable consoles, just not in the way you think. These companies aren't as well known, but they're giving us what the people want. Ion, Retroid, Ioneo, and Ambernic have all recently been creating DS-like devices, truly portable gaming. For tinkerers like me, these consoles are awesome because we can customize the software or the games any way we want. Most of these consoles just run Android. There's plenty of options too. Want a more expensive premium option with a little more power? There's the Ioneo Pocket DS. Want a cheaper, more budget-friendly option? There's the Ambernic RG DS. Or if you want something in the middle, there's the Ion Thor. But there's one big glaring drawback, something that keeps these consoles from reaching mainstream appeal. Do you know what that is? It's that they're a little too difficult to set up and use. Some people like me absolutely love the ability to customize every aspect of their console, but other people, they just want their consoles to work out of the box, and I get that. Unfortunately, with these third-party Chinese consoles, while being awesome consoles themselves, they're just too difficult to set up and use. The software experience requires hours and hours of setting up emulators, finding games, and in many cases, dialing each game setting itself just to get them to run properly. This is why first-party console manufacturers have always had a significant advantage and a leg up on everybody else. When you buy a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch 2 and you turn it on, it's easy to set up. Usually the hardest part is just waiting for the update, but once you put your cartridge or your disc in, your game is ready to go. And not only is it ready to go, you can trust that most of the time, it's gonna work properly too. The first-party console manufacturers have direct control over the games and thus can make the whole experience virtually seamless. And unfortunately, the stark contrast between first-party console manufacturers and third-party console manufacturers is that most people are going to be hesitant to pull the trigger on these Chinese consoles, even though they're quite impressive. So where does that leave us today? Well, I'd say that leaves us without portable consoles, but as I just discussed, that's not the full truth. If you truly do want portable consoles, there are the Chinese manufacturer options, And I do recommend them. I think they are some awesome consoles, but just know what you're getting into. It's going to be a lot of work to set up, and you're going to have to enjoy the process. If you just want to play games out of the box and have a first-party experience from Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, well, I'm sorry, there's just no option for you right now. Although, you could go to the used market and always pick up a PSP, DS, or a 3DS, but as many of you know, the 3DS prices have been skyrocketing. I do think phones have been picking up the slack a little bit. A lot of people emulate games on their phones, and I personally am leaning into this by building my own controller, store coming soon. But I think phones are the major reason that console manufacturers are actually scared to make a portable console. I have a whole video on it. Go check that out. But I hope in the future that first-party console manufacturers will start to make them again. I'd really like to see portable gaming make a comeback, and I do think today it could be successful, because me and many others have been missing it for a long time. Thanks for watching.